I'm currently in New York City to film a destination wedding and a styled shoot. And I thought it would be the perfect opportunity to ask a question that's been on my mind since I started traveling for weddings. Is it better to pack your bag into a roller bag or a backpack? So I've got Think Tank's Streetwalker roller and their First Light 46-liter backpack to see which type of bag makes the most sense for wedding videographers. Quick disclaimer, I do have an ongoing relationship with Think Tank. They gave me this Streetwalker roller to make this video, and they have previously given me the First Light backpack as well as other bags for previous videos, but they are not sponsoring this video. They actually have never sponsored one of my videos, nor paid me in any other way. They have no input or control over what I say, and they do not get to review this video before it goes live. I was actually pretty surprised with the outcome of this video. See, I went into it totally expecting it to be a simple cut and dry answer. This one is better than this one. But I was kind of wrong. I actually think it's probably better in most situations for most wedding videographers to have both. See, they each have one big flaw that the other one solves. With the backpack, if you put too much stuff in here, it gets really freaking heavy and will just destroy your back. I used to load my giant backpacks up with all of my gear, and they would weigh 30 to 40 pounds. And at least for me, after only about 15 minutes, it would start really hurting my back. With the roller, you completely get rid of the weight issue by having all the weight on the ground. But now you have a new issue. Your hands are full. You have to carry this roller with you by pulling it along, so if you need to be mobile while you're shooting, you now have to stop, set the roller down somewhere, get your camera out, take your shot, put the camera back down, grab your roller, and keep going. For one, that's just really annoying, but two, it also increases the risk of theft for this thing. If you're in a crowded city and you have to keep setting this thing down so that you can film something, now somebody can just walk up, grab your bag, and walk away with it. With a backpack, you don't have to worry about that at all because it's literally strapped to your body. And because it's strapped to your back, your hands are completely free to do whatever you want. I ran into this firsthand while we were in New York. We were there for two projects, a wedding and a styled shoot, and the first day we were there we did the styled shoot and it required us to walk all over Manhattan. I purposely took a backpack instead of a roller for this shoot, and I am so glad that I did. We were constantly moving, and if I had brought the roller, I would have been much less nimble. I would have been constantly stopping to set down the roller, and in such a crowded city, it would have been really hard to keep an eye on it while I was filming. The backpack was perfect for this type of shoot. I didn't have to worry about misplacing it, I didn't have to worry about it getting in the way or slowing me down, and I was able to carry it while also being completely hands-free. I could still use my camera while I was carrying the bag. The wedding was the complete opposite though. On the wedding day, we also had to do quite a bit of walking, probably around 25 blocks in total that day, and for the sake of this video, I made the decision to carry both the roller and the backpack full of gear. Just as a little side note, weddings require significantly more equipment than a styled shoot. For a styled shoot, you really only need one camera and 1 to maybe 3 lenses max. For a wedding, I'm bringing 3 to 5 cameras, 5 to 6 lenses, a drone, audio equipment, and a ton of batteries. So needless to say, my backpack was way heavier on the wedding day than it was for the styled shoot. I also didn't need to stop all throughout the city to film on the wedding day. It was pretty much just walking from point A to point B. Every once in a while we'd stop and grab a couple shots of the city, but it was very minimal. So without a doubt, the roller bag was by far the best option for the wedding day. My back was hurting so bad after that wedding day just because of how heavy the backpack was. And the benefits of the backpack, being able to move more freely and have your hands free, not even really a concern in that situation. Hey Emma, what do you think about roller bags?
Ultimately, I am always going to pick a roller bag over a backpack. Controversial, I know. No, but really, it takes so much strain off your back, you're saving yourself pain at the end of the day, it's just easier overall. We already have to carry around a ton of equipment, might as well make it easier for us. The only time I think someone should use a backpack instead is when you absolutely have to, because you can't roll your roller bag through the dirt road that leads to the barn wedding you're going to do. If I could, I would absolutely own both. That to me is, I don't know, maybe it's not a no-brainer to other people, but for me, I'm like, yeah, I would absolutely own both. Because for me, I usually know what I'm showing up to. I'm usually made aware of the fact that, oh, this is happening in a barn and there's a dirt road. You know, I mean, you can look up an address on Google Earth. You can see what you're gonna be working with in advance. So having a backpack and a roller bag is great for me because I can decide each time which one is preferable. I'm always gonna be hoping I can use the roller bag, but even in situations where it is a barn wedding or something, you know, in a more countryside setting, then I can be prepared and have the backpack option ready to go.
So that brings us back to the main dilemma. Which one should you buy? Honestly, I think most wedding videographers should get both. There is, of course, a lot of nuance here because everyone is going to have different equipment and different types of weddings they're filming. Some people only use 1 to 2 cameras, while others use 6 to 8. You've got adventure elopement videographers who are constantly going on long hikes in the mountains, videographers shooting local weddings that they can easily drive to, and destination wedding videographers who have to pack everything onto a plane, and probably a dozen other unique situations on top of that. So ultimately, there is no one answer that's going to apply to everyone. But here's my take. Having a large roller and a small to medium-sized backpack is, in my opinion, the best case scenario. If you're traveling, you've got the ability to pack all your heavy equipment into the roller, taking the weight and stress off your back. And once you get to your destination, you have the option to pack some of that equipment into the backpack for short little excursions or shoots or whatever. That way, you're not stuck lugging around the big roller all the time, and you also don't have to carry dozens of pounds of gear on your back while you're traveling. This also makes a lot of sense for wedding videographers serving a local market. Depending on the gear you'll need to pack for a particular wedding, you can pack it into the roller for a larger project or the backpack for a smaller one. Or you could use both of them if you've got a lot of gear. Either way, you're not carrying a ton of weight on your back and you're packing efficiently. And this is now exactly what I do too. In this Streetwalker roller, I'm putting 4 camera bodies, 4 lenses, and my drone, while the backpack holds my audio kit, 1 more lens, and my batteries, and any other little tiny items. The specific size of roller you get will really just come down to how much equipment you have. The Streetwalker roller I've got here is good, but it is a bit small for the amount of gear I'd like to pack into it. Ideally, I'd like to have all my lenses, cameras, and drone in the same bag, so at some point I'll probably switch to something a little bit bigger. Ultimately though, a backpack is going to be more flexible than a roller bag. So if you can only afford to buy one, I'd probably recommend getting the backpack. Even though they are super heavy when you pack them to the brim, you still have the option to put it on your back. With most rollers, that's just not a possibility. Now, there are some rollers that do actually have built-in backpack straps, this Streetwalker roller being one of them. If you think you'd use your bag in the roller mode the majority of the time, but would like the option to switch it into backpack mode every once in a while, a bag like this might be perfect for you. The biggest downside to these types of bags is just how heavy they are. They're really made as like a roller first and a backpack second, so the backpack experience isn't the best. The bag is quite heavy due to the wheels and luggage handle, so when you put it on your back, you end up carrying around a lot more weight than you would if it was just a backpack. But again, if you only use the backpack mode every once in a while, this could be perfect for you. With there being so many different backpacks and roller bags out there and not knowing your particular situation or what kind of gear you have, it's nearly impossible to give a solid recommendation on which bag to buy. So instead, here are some of my favorite bags and my go-to brands. ThinkTank is my favorite brand for soft-sided rollers. I think they are absolutely killing it with their roller bags. Nomadic's Peter McKinnon backpack line is fantastic, and Lowepro also makes some really nice backpacks. Those would be the brands that I would recommend. They're the ones that I've used the most and the ones that I like the most, but there are so many other brands out there all making fantastic bags, so don't feel limited to just these ones that I've mentioned. For individual roller bags, the ThinkTank Airport International or the Airport Security are perfect, just depending on the size that you want. But like I said, ThinkTank's roller bags are all kind of fantastic, so really just whichever one has the features that you want is probably going to be perfect for you. If you prefer hard-sided cases, the Pelican 1510 or the Nanic 935 are both great. I'm probably a little bit more partial to the Pelican because I really like their Trek Pack dividers, but they're essentially the same thing. If you're wanting to get a roller bag with backpack straps built in, I'd probably recommend the Think Tank Airport TakeOff or this Streetwalker roller that I've been using throughout this video if you want something a little bit smaller. Neewer also has a version of this bag if you want to save some cash. It probably wouldn't be my first choice, but I've got a friend who has this bag and she loves it. With backpacks, my preference is the Nomadic camera bags, either the 25 or 35 liter, just depending on the size that you need. I've got the 25 liter and I love it, and I've used the 35 liter and it's really great. I've also very much enjoyed using Lowpro's Pro Tactic backpack, and if you're just looking for the biggest backpack you can possibly find, check out my video on giant bags. So like I said earlier, when it comes to roller versus backpack, I really think it's just kind of best to have both. This will obviously depend on your situation, the type of weddings or projects you shoot, and how much gear you pack. But for us wedding videographers with 3 or more cameras, 5+ lenses, a drone, audio equipment, etc., it's really nice to be able to take that weight off your back. Let me know what you think about this though, and what kind of bag is your favorite. Okay, bye.
Ultimately, I mean, I would take a Gucci purse over either a roller bag or a backpack because, you know, Gucci. Don't know why I have to explain this. All right, goodbye. That kind of hurt, but I committed. Why do you want me to be in your videos?